No one can guarantee to get your ex back because people have free will. There's so much stuff that you find on the internet about like, oh, no contact for 30 days and your ex will come back. Did you try that? And your ex didn't come back yet, right? Because yeah, it's not that easy. It's really not. All too often people wait the 30 days and then they think that it's going to be fine, and then they make all sorts of mistakes reaching out to their ex that really can sabotage the relationship forever and really push them away. So push the pause button. And getting revenge is always juicy, right? People think about the revenge that they want to get on their ex. The best revenge is to become the best version of yourself. All that obsessive energy that you're wasting trying to figure out what your ex is doing and like, what does this mean and what does that mean? And like, are they going to come back and how do I get them back? And searching for answers about that. Use that energy to focus on yourself and in becoming the best version of yourself. I mean, honestly, like clients that I've talked to even just recently that have said, oh my God, focusing on me and working out and taking care of myself and becoming a better version of myself is making me feel so empowered and I feel so much better. And thank you for saying that to me, right? So like, that's what I'm trying to say to you. You cannot control what your ex does. Hoping and wishing and waiting for your ex to come back keeps you in limbo. And limbo sucks because you can't control it. And that's the whole thing. Like, it's like, you know, we all want to control things. We certainly want to control our own relationships, but you can't control another person. And the more you try to control another person, the more you push them away. So the only person that you can control is yourself. So, and incidentally, in all of your relationships that didn't work out, you're the one common denominator. But that's excellent news because you're the only person that you can change. You need to take initiative to change yourself and really look at your issues. You really do. Like, nothing changes if nothing changes. Never forget that. That is my favorite saying, and it's incredibly true. And you don't know what you don't know. I would love to help you figure out what you don't know. Mostly about your ex. Were they toxic? Will they come back? Should you even want them back? I'm really good at listening and really hearing what's going on and giving you insight into what the reality of your situation was. And I mean, honestly, the greatest gift of a breakup is that it's usually the catalyst that causes people to first look at themselves. I clearly think, have you had your heart broken, is a defining question. Because if you've never had your heart broken, you just don't get it, right? Like, I mean, my God, I was that person. I was a little bit of a nightmare in my 20s. Like, I didn't think I was, and I'd certainly not gotten my way. So, you know, I thought that was kind of having my heart broken, but oh no, oh my God, at 30, a guy that chased me for 8 years that I'd been friends with, I finally fell in love with, and he ripped my heart out. Like, he ghosted me, right? Before ghosting was even a term. And there was no internet to search for answers in those days, right? So like, yeah, it was debilitating. But honestly, in hindsight, it's the best thing that ever happened to me because it made me a much more compassionate person, right? Like, oh my God, like, and I had a client, one of my favorite clients was this 49-year-old guy, very successful, who'd never had his heart broken. And then, you know, at 49, this girl like ripped his heart out and like, great guy, you know, we'd talk for hours and hours and hours. And, you know, it's like, I could point out to him how like, she really wasn't a good person. And he'd go, yeah, I know. And then he'd still go, but how do I get her back? Right? Like, you know, and we'd talk about past relationships where he'd really not been a good guy and where he'd been the one that just ghosted people and like, oh, all of a sudden he had so much compassion for that. Like, we really had some good laughs of him going, oh my God, I can't believe how I treated that girl. This girl wrote me an email and told me, like, poured her heart out to me, and my only response was like, I'm done. Right? Like, and then like, you know, he was comparing to that to how he would feel if this girl did that to him, right? So my long-winded point is this truly is the best thing that ever happened to you if you've never had your heart broken before, because now is your opportunity to really look at your own issues and to grow, right? Like, no, like if it's not broke, don't fix it. No one wants to work on themselves when they're happy and things are going well. So what a gift. What a gift. Use this pain as great motivation to really start looking at who you are and how you can maybe become a better partner in a relationship. I promise you someday you're going to thank your ex for all this pain that they caused you. The first guy that broke my heart was the very first time that I ever really looked at my own issues and thought, what's wrong with me, right? Initially thinking like, why doesn't he want me? But honestly, you need to ask that question. What's wrong with you? There's something wrong with all of us. And the more we can figure out what's wrong with us, the better our relationships will be, because the better choices we'll make in partners that don't stimulate our issues and that we can have lasting relationships. And I'll tell you, if you have any kind of dark childhood wounds that you've not been brave enough to look at, now's the time. And most definitely reach out to me, because I've certainly had my own stuff that I've had to deal with. And, look, I'm in my 50s and I've lived several different lives, right? Had somewhat of a complicated childhood, and then my mom died when I was a teenager, and the modeling agency moved me to New York in the 80s when Manhattan was really not what it is now, right? A pretty wild place. And, started studying acting, which is human behavior, and moved to Los Angeles when, they used to call it the casting couch. The Me Too movement is because I think that, they called it the casting couch, and it was rampant. So I did move back to New York, and I ended up, knowledge was the only thing that made me feel better. So, having my heart ripped out. So I started reading everything that I could get my hands on, because it was the only thing that made me feel better. And I ended up being asked to be in a reality show back, before they were what they are now, but it was called The Real Sex and the City. And then that led to me co-hosting a talk show. And I got my first column in a magazine. And then, they dubbed me the dating expert. And I was like, oh, okay. But then I had a great agent who said to me, yeah, but why are you an expert? You either need a degree or you need to write a book. So I did both. I enrolled at NYU and I wrote my book, Giving Up Junk Food Relationships. I'm very uniquely qualified to help other people, because I'm not just a typical therapist. I have studied psychology, but I've actually lived stuff, and I've coached hundreds of people now. So it's a combination of academic background with real life knowledge utilized. I kind of figured it out for you, and I'm more than happy to share it with you. And I pride myself on being different from other coaches, largely because I've been on both sides. Right? Throughout my 20s, pre-heartbreak, I was pretty self-absorbed, right? I was very selfish. I was doing my own thing. I was an actress, of all things, right? And pursuing my career, and it was all about me, right? I loved some people, but it's that wasn't standing in the way of me achieving my goals and what I wanted to do. Some opportunity came up, I was running with that. And, I actually really loved a guy that I lost because I was pursuing my career. And, I did care. I really did. But not enough to stop what I was doing until I had my heart ripped out. Oh, my God. Now it's I don't wish that pain on anybody. And that's why I do what I do now, because I get it. Unfortunately, I've been through enough of my own, and I mean, my God, I'm in my 50s now, right? So it's been there, done that. I dated a guy that I had no idea was married until his wife confronted me, right? So I am so not judgmental. And, if I haven't been through it, clients have been through it, friends have been through it, and my brain just grabs onto information, and I really learn from my mistakes. So I'm very happy to help you learn from my mistakes too. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I will have compassion for you, but I will have some tough love, and I'm going to call you on your issues. And I'm going to tell you what I think you need to fix. And if it's possible that your ex is going to come back. And if you should even want your ex back. Because honestly, more often than not, when people start telling me about their relationship, it's a good thing that it ended. So, but you don't know what you don't know, right? So I'd be more than happy to tell you what you don't know so that you can see your ex for who they are truly, really make an informed decision about should you even want that person back. And I'll tell you, that's the easiest way to get over something. You can't feel rejected by somebody that you don't want. And it's a gift if your ex was toxic in one way or another. I wrote my book because it became really clear to me that so many people have no idea what a toxic relationship even is. So I'm more than happy to talk to you and really hear what was going on in your relationship and with you, and how you can fix things, either with your ex or just with you, and how you can be happy. Because life is the pursuit of happiness. And if you're not happy, and I imagine you're not right now, right? There is no magic pill to help us get over a breakup. As much as we all wish there was, right? And it's like you can search and search and search forever on the internet and still not feel better. And you could go and talk to a therapist every day for a year and still not feel better. It's up to you to really be willing to look at your stuff and admit that things need to change, because nothing changes if nothing changes. I'll tell you too, as a dating coach, a lot of people come to me that have been single for a really long time that'll say to me, I know I'm doing something wrong, I just don't know what it is. And that's very true. I'm really good at identifying red flags and issues. I can help you raise your self-esteem and look at your issues and teach you boundaries and break your patterns, because we all have patterns, and really looking at them is the first step in making better choices. I offer my ASAP session so that if you're what do? I want to reach out to my ex. I need to it's like, reach out to me. I can really help you get answers and figure out what's going on, and certainly stop you from sabotaging any chances that you have with your ex. And I now have two options for coaching people because, I have noticed a lot of people are on my site and on my YouTube channel in the middle of the night. And that's what really gave me the impetus to make an online course, because I get it. You can't sleep. It's hard to eat. It's hard to do anything when you're really hurting and missing somebody. So that's why I created my ASAP emergency session that I will talk to you at ASAP as soon as I can, and definitely within 24 hours. But a great complement to that is my online course. And if you click the button to sign up for the online session with me, you'll get an option to get a discount for joining the course, so you can do both together. Because I think both together is such an effective use of your time between personal coaching with me and the addition of my now online course. Because I really have spent more than 200 hours putting that together, and there's all sorts of quizzes and checklists and worksheets to help you learn about boundaries and raise your self-esteem and set goals and communication skills and all sorts of really terrific things that you can work at your own pace to move forward and to really get clarity about what you want and really look at what worked and what doesn't work and your own set of red flags, so that your next relationship can be your best relationship ever. Whether that is your ex, that, maybe you can work things out with your ex and then the things that were wrong will be better and you can start a new beginning and start over. Or, really more often than not, by the time you get done really working through your stuff, your self-esteem won't allow you to want to be with somebody who's caused you so much pain. Becoming the best version of yourself is, first of all, just the best thing for you, right? But it's the best revenge on your ex. Think how happy you'll be when your ex does decide that they want you back and you don't care. You really don't care, because I see that happen more often than not. I can't even tell you how many clients have called me all excited because they're like, oh my God, guess who finally called me today? And I didn't care, right? That really is possible, but you need to be willing to do some self-growth work. But I promise you, there's no better time to do self-growth work than when you're hurting. Because, yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't want to work on myself when things are going well, but knowledge is the only thing that makes me feel better when things aren't going well. Childhood issues, right? You got to get a grip on your childhood issues because it will destroy your relationships. And the older you get, the harder it is. So good for you if you're still young. I wish I had somebody like me to talk to when I was in my 20s. Life could have been a whole lot different, but that's why I do what I do. It makes me happy to help other people. And I get it. I'm willing to talk to you as long as you need me to talk to you because it's a process, right? It's 5 stages of grief that you have to go through, and it's a process. There is no quick fix that's going to help you get over this overnight. But I will do my best to get you through it as the best version of yourself. So sign up for coaching, and I look forward to talking to you and most importantly, make you feel better.